There is so much insanity going on in the world. Do you know this? Like, I'm not even talking about mainstream news. I've avoided that stuff for over 10 years. Like, the only way I know what's going on with mainstream is if it's on YouTube somewhere. What I'm talking about is the Amazon burning. Like, the Amazon rainforest is actually up in freaking flames and it's burning. And one side of me knows that it's burning because Mother Tiamat, Gaia, the planet you're on, whether you're in a matrix or not, is irrelevant. You're on a planet. This planet, this life, this experience has a narrative. And for all you know, the holographic reality is a lie, and what's actually happening is the destruction of your planet. While you're being mind wiped and brainwashed to think that it's some hologram and it's okay. So, to be a responsible citizen of planet Earth, while a majority of the planet is burning up in flames, you have to figure out for yourself what this means. I've been doing a lot of meditating and asking the planet itself what's going on, and what I'm being shown is that we're about to go through something massive. The poles are about to shift, for real, for real. Timelines have collapsed, and if you don't know about timelines, I suggest you go watch Flora Brun's channel, FLEURBRUN, or Lucid Living TV. Also, it's brought up in Psychic Sounds by B, the letter B. It's basically all over the internet that timelines have collapsed, that things are changing, that parallel realities are emerging. And usually I don't speak about this stuff because I do what I can to keep my reality apart from yours. That way you're not being influenced by any ridiculousness going on in mine. But it seems that this is something that's happening in everybody's. And I, for one, can absolutely attest, what a weird word. I can affirm that there is a parallel reality and timeline collapse and merger because I have become aware of many different sides and different aspects of myself, but also really freaking different versions of me. A heterosexual male who was married and had a wife and children, a heterosexual female who was married, had a husband and children, a older woman who lived in the woods and had her own like food forest type of place, a bisexual male and a bisexual female. All of these versions, each of them with their own memories, their own experiences, choices, and all of that have been collapsed into me in the last few days. And let me tell you, I don't know how to make sense of any of it. In the past few days I've been just zoned out and spaced out and doing what I can to just focus on this reality, which is starting to seem really pointless. I keep being shown this Amazon rainforest going up in flames. But every time I see it in my heart's eye, I keep seeing a phoenix rising from all those ashes. That the planet itself is telling me that what's happening with the rainforest is everything being turned into nutrients for the soil, basically, to restart the next chapter of what's happening on this planet. So stage one is, well, I guess we're not even at stage one. We're like way past that. We're at the stage where the poles are about to shift, temperatures are about to get really, really, really drastic. And the rainforest going up means that the air is going to get really messy, which means that among the collective, there is a lot of negative, dirty thoughts going around the entire planet. The trees, the roots, the energetic attachments have all been tarnished somehow, so they've been burned from the root up. All to start over in this new cycle, this new age, or this new whatever. But it's actually happening. You can check on the channel on YouTube called Suspicious Observer. They talk about a lot of planetary changes that are happening, as well as Mr. MBB333. And if you YouTube these names, you can find them. Like if I remember, I will link them later after this is uploaded and everything. But your best bet is just to pause the video and go just Control T, like hit Control T on your keyboard, and it'll open a new tab, and then just search for that name or those names. So what can we do, right? The world's burning down, temperatures are changing, everyone's going freaking batty, all these different timelines are merging together, and people are acting very different than who they were. It's like some people just went 180. People that were in your life are there, and then suddenly they're gone. And then like 3 years go by and you still feel like it's been yesterday. And then people that were gone for years come back as if nothing ever happened, and they don't have the same memories that you have with the version of them that you remember. My best friend that I had for about 20 years of my life, and we had stopped being friends a few years ago, is back in my life, and best friend, status reignited again, but we don't really have the same memories. Like I guess we've been best friends in other timelines, but he doesn't remember the stuff I remember, like most of it, and the stuff we do remember is kind of different for me and for him. So this stuff could be happening for you. Just be aware. And actually, I can guarantee that it is. You're just brushing it under the carpet and saying it's normal, matrix life. A lot of issues are coming up for a lot of people, from gender confusion to memories of youth and adulthood being different than what we want them to be, or what we even remember. I remember having 4 different childhoods right now as 4 different people, 4 different variants, 4 different mothers, 4 different fathers, and each one of those groups has a whole plethora of different experiences within each collective. Like with one mother, I have an entire multitude of lifetimes of experiences with that one, and then with another one, and then with another one, and each of them have their own different experiences. I've even seen a reality where I have a daughter, and that timeline collapsed into this one, but in this timeline I obviously don't have a daughter, but somehow that daughter is going to show up in this timeline in the future after I have surgery. I'm maybe kind of sort of, I'm assuming, or maybe that like what I saw is actually accurate, that this daughter is going to come into my life through a husband that has a daughter already. So once I'm completed with the transition, the person I'm with, we either adopt or he comes with a daughter, and then that timeline and this timeline click, and the path forward becomes clearer. The male sides of me that have been making themselves known and merging in with this one have been very different and very confusing to me. Like I can fully remember living a life as a heterosexual male with children, a wife, and all of that. And in each of these timelines, mind you, the Amazon stuff is still happening. Like these memories and all of them exist. The only difference is in those timelines that collapsed, what happened after this Amazon thing happened with them. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I can tell you what's going to happen next, and it's going to be a little different than what they experienced, but we're going to have a massive temperature shift. And I'm unable to tell whether it's for cold or warmth, but I'm if history repeats, it's going to be cold. I don't know, but I kind of do know. A lot of life is leaving this planet. A lot, from plant life, insects, animals. A lot of things are leaving. And it's most of the ones that have been contaminated somehow. Like the planet, it's changing its constructs. It's changing the way it expresses itself through animal form, through human, through life basically. The expression of life is changing. And what you can do to support this change in this process of not only your transition, like whether you're male or female, none of it matters. You're transitioning. Everybody is, even the cisgender people. We're all transitioning from one version of life into another while we take all of our versions with us. I can even hear it in my voice. There's like two voices speaking through one body. It's very weird. But you know how your thoughts create, your imagination creates. The world around you is falling apart because you're too busy creating for yourself, which is service to self, which is selfish, which is something the planet is wiping off of itself. So it's time that we go back to the old ways, kinda, sorta, and bring them into the new ways and create a balanced way of living. So I'm going to do a lot of things on this channel moving forward, including changing the name to bring the old ways, the way the druids, the pagans, the kings and queens, the farmers, you know, all of the old life into this new life, and to create a different standard, I guess, or to raise up the standard of life, because we're wasting our human potential, we're wasting our God potential, and the planet is suffering for it. We don't need that much garbage, we don't need that much paper, we sure as F don't need to be using so many power plants. I mean, really, we have to change what we're doing, and it starts with imagination and thoughts. So right now, the earth is calling out to you, and it's saying, my lungs are burning. So in your own life, what are you doing that's causing your airflow to be damaged? Are you smoking cigarettes? Are you smoking weed? Are you experiencing secondhand smoke? Are you not breathing enough? Are you not going out and experiencing nature enough? How have you been disconnected from the element of air, earth, and light, natural light? So if you can take 60 seconds, 16 seconds, if you can take 3 freaking seconds of your life and just breathe in deep for 3 seconds, hold it for 3 seconds, let it out for 3 seconds. In those 3 seconds that you're breathing, please imagine the entire planet full of the color green, gold, and the softest white. Just visualize plants growing. Visualize and imagine kittens and puppies and wildlife playing and being born. Visualize and imagine the sky being clear and beautiful and, you know, cyan blue. Imagine what it would feel like to live in a Garden of Eden already, without anybody, you know, no mortal human constructs. Just imagine yourself within the Garden of Eden. If the earth was untouched by human disaster, which was infiltrated and damaged by entities. What would, in your imagination, what would the world look like if it was more utopian? If it was more enlightened? If it was more natural? If the buildings we made, the roofs actually had plants on them and, grass or different forms of ivy growing on the buildings that blossomed and fed the bees? What would the streets look like if all the streets, all the trees on the streets were actually fruit-bearing trees, so that everybody had food no matter where they are? What if each tree had berry bushes around the trunk of the tree, with grapevines or kiwi vines rising up along the trunk of the tree, along the branches? So each tree would be a home for like blueberries, raspberries, some roses maybe, kiwis, grapes, figs. And then you could have the tree itself, which could be like an apple tree or a cherry tree or just one different tree after another. Everywhere. Even like the downtown areas of your cities, like the skyscrapers. Instead of having them covered in metal, like wrap the metal with this wet paper or something, and then you grow the seeds, and then the ivy will grow anywhere, really. And I'm just using ivy as an example. You can use any kind of plant, started from the roof, started from the windows, started from the ground, and let it completely encompass the building. Even the grass, like we don't need this much grass. Each foot of grass can be changed to a kale plant or a blueberry bush. You can make living fences with food, like raspberries and goji berries. Those things have little sharp points on them. No one's going to cross them. You can use those as fences. Or wrap your entire fences, or wrap the bushes on the fences. Just plant them cross. Like, see how they are right there? On that grass? You don't need all that grass. You just change all that grass into different berry bushes, and then they will grow along the fence, and then both people on both sides will have food all year long. But please do your future self and the universe a favor. Spend a few seconds and just feel the earth. She's going through something and you need to acknowledge her. Okay? Send good energy to the Amazon. Send without the Amazon, okay? There's a very few things in this world that, if removed, would totally cataclysmically, massively destroy what's going on. One of them is if bees disappeared. The other one is if the Amazon rainforest disappeared. Both of those things are happening. I don't know what kind of a warning signal you need. I don't know what kind of a news flash on television you need. Or, if you need some angel flying out of the sky blowing a trumpet, or some old man in the sky pointing his finger at you saying it's time. But it's time for you to act like a custodian of this planet and actually use your manifestation ability to benefit the planet instead of yourself. Yes, we all have issues. Yes, we all want to manifest things, and all of those things will come. But for now, all those things are useless if you don't have air to breathe, food to eat, and an earth to stand on. I've been doing a lot of things over the past few years, and the year that I've been, or however long it's been that I've been on YouTube. I don't know how long it's been in this reality. But I'm going to change things around because I don't feel fulfilled with what I'm doing. I don't feel authentic, or as authentic as I could be. I'm sick and fucking tired of trying to debate about my gender, or what I look like, or what I'm manifesting. I'm tired of it. I'm so fucking tired of it. We're supposed to be a sisterhood and a brotherhood, regardless of what's in our pants. We're supposed to be united, and we're supposed to take care of the planet and the animals on it, as well as each other. We're supposed to be a family. And they, quote unquote, they, have been really separating us through everything, and then taking people that we love away from us, and mind wiping people, and changing consciousness from one body to the next, like swapping consciousness between bodies and messing with people in their dream state. And then they tell you that they're doing all this because they have to. It's divine law through television and movies. And you think that you're just watching movies. It's time to wake up. Because I, for one, am really done suffering at the hands of people who are pretending that they don't exist. While we all pretend with them, and we're like, oh no, it's fine, it's just life. It is what it is, isn't it? At the end of the day, it is what it is. No, the fuck it isn't. There is a war going on, and it's against your mother, this planet we're on, and yourself. And the opposing side fights dirty. So it's time that you don't fight, but you actually create. Okay? All it takes is 3 seconds out of your really busy, hectic, amazing life to imagine beautiful things in the world. Imagine a new species of butterfly. It's your imagination. Who cares what it looks like? Just imagine it. Use your time to create life. You want to be a mother? You want to be a father? You want to transition to man or woman? Well, guess what it means to be a complete man or woman? You take care of this earth, this place, your home. Not just your physical home, but your actual home. It's time to stop acting like babies. This world needs you. And people who are suffering need you. Stop adding to the pain and actually do something energetic about it. You don't have to go and hold a rally. You don't have to storm Area 51. Like, you don't need to do any of this ridiculous bullshit. What you need to do for yourself, which you already know, is to imagine. Your imagination created your reality. So create your next step of reality with your imagination. Don't make everything we've been through for nothing.